Hello, World Hemp Congress. Hello, friends. I look out and I see a room full of friends, so I'm not nervous, even though this is my first time presenting on the topic of CBD. I'm presenting my unique point of view, an American point of view. I know that can be a problem for the Europeans, but nevertheless, I think I have a unique set of experience because I've been making CBD products for quite a while, and I'm here to talk about some of these experiences. I'll keep it brief. I really will. I don't want to wear you guys out. And after a little while, I'll open it up and be happy to answer any of your questions to the best of my ability. But I guess the first thing that I'd like to talk about briefly is maybe we'll talk about the history of CBD for just a moment. As we learned the other day, CBD products have been used for thousands and thousands of years in Ayurveda. But obviously, the use predates that by thousands and thousands of more years. So CBD has been consumed as long as cannabis has been consumed. CBD, this is because CBD is the second most prominent cannabinoid in the cannabis plant, depending, but overall, it's second to THC. What exactly is a cannabinoid? I don't think anybody ever really addressed that, did they? Did anybody actually say what a cannabinoid is? I don't think, I haven't heard that, but we heard today that there are 100, 110 different cannabinoids isolated. The cannabinoid is a resin produced by a cannabis plant that must interact with the endocannabinoid system. That's why it's not a terpene, terpenoid, flavonoid, phytochemical, or wax. Although these things have a lot to do with our endocannabinoid system as well, as we learned a few minutes ago. So, I'd like to talk about more recent history. Okay, as we're working. The United States dispensatory report, I'm going to read this. Extract of hemp is a powerful narcotic, causing exhilaration, intoxication, delirious hallucination, and its subsequent actions, drowsiness and stupor. With little effect upon circulation. It is asserted also to act on the as a decided aphrodisiac, to increase appetite, and to occasionally induce a catacleptic state. Now, this is an important statement we'll come back to. In morbid states of the system, it has been found to cause sleep, to allay spasm, to compose nervous disquietude, and to relieve pain. We're going to learn a little later in my presentation that these are properties associated with CBD more than THC. The complaints in which it has been specifically recommended are neuralgia, that's nerve pain, gout, that's joint dysfunction, rheumatism, that's immune dysfunction, tetanus, it's an infection, hypophobia, fear of water is in your nuts, and you're mad, epidemic cholera, disease, convulsions, spasms, hysteria, once again, mental depression, mental disorders, delirium tremens, that's an alcoholism, insanity, and uterine hemorrhage. At the end of the 20th century, more than 20 prescription medicines containing cannabis were sold in the U.S. pharmacies. Until 1942, cannabis was stricken from the book. They literally took a big eraser and they erased everything having to do with cannabis and put a big no-go. CBD was first isolated and its structure understood probably in the mid to late 40s, and was thought to be a precursor to THC. We now know that it's not. we now know that both THC and CBD share the precursor molecule CBG. Since the late 40s, very little research could have been done in America because of its legal status, completely outlawed. Now, even though it was outlawed, people in California were busy weeding CBD out of marijuana since the late 70s. In fact, the first world famous let's see if I can this is just 19th century medicinal bottle, some visuals about how it was included in the pharmacopoeia. Since the late 70s, the California breeders have been breeding CBD out because it sort of nullifies the psychotropic effects of marijuana. So since 1979, 1980, up until really the early 2000s, the breeders have been breeding it out. Actually, in about the 90s, some breeders in Canada had the good sense to try to breed it back in, to try to develop more medical strains. This is because research sort of initiated about the 90s and showed great promise, great therapeutic value in CBD. By the early 2000s, the next wave of research pretty much confirmed what the first wave found. And by 2008, 9, 10, the next wave of breeders came along, breeding it back in, as you well know, and they call it medical marijuana. You might have a 1-to-1 ratio of CBD THC. We learned a lot about it about an hour ago. Very, very interesting. Now, that brings us to about 2011, as you know, was a very big year for CBD. Why? Two reasons. One, the first world-famous low-THC CBD strain called Charlotte's Web came out. The Stanley brothers of Colorado breeded it. And another event happened. I made my first CBD healing salve with high levels of THC, illegal or not. I made my first healing salve because the medical community wanted to operate on my way to that carpal tunnel. No. I said no. I developed this, and within a month or 2 months, the carpal tunnel was cured, and it never had a problem. She hasn't had a problem. If she has a twinge to this day, she puts a little salve on, and it's fixed. So, I guess that pretty much brings us to where we are today. In 2014, in America, in California, about June, July, about a year ago, the first extracts, CBD-rich extracts, became available. I'm not going to say they were legal, but they became available from labs out in California. And of course, I hopped on the bandwagon and I started to buy them and use them and experiment. A few months later, in November 2014, I launched my company, DaCrema. I don't know how to use this. Touching stuff and moving too fast. This is going to be the last one with my contact information, but it's on there anyway. Actually, I started this business sort of as a result of a challenge, a discussion I had with one of our esteemed colleagues sitting in the audience, Mr. Paul Farkas. So we have Mr. Paul Farkas to thank for this presentation. I guess just spend 30 seconds talking about my background. Who am I? Who is this guy? I have a science background, and I have an art background. And I've been involved in the medical marijuana movement since about 1994. And all of this together has been moving me towards this direction. So, that's the history of CBD. I hope, I hope I try to clarify a little bit. Let's see if I can get it. Okay, let's go to this slide. This is a good slide for me to think about for a second. I'd like to talk a little bit about CBD and human physiology. Now, CBD offers potential therapeutic value for an enormously broad list of maladies. Why? We learned this morning. The CBD operates on a molecular level to interact with a wide range of cell receptors and signaling proteins, including neuroreceptors. There's a definite physiological response when CBD interacts with mammalian organisms. These interactions aren't completely understood, we learn, but we're learning more all the time. I'm just going to recap for one split second what we talked about before regarding the endocannabinoid system. In all mammals, there exists the endocannabinoid system. However, even in the way less recently evolved animals, like sponges, we find endocannabinoid systems. Predated the angiosperms by many millions of years. So this is one of the most ancient signaling systems, of any nervous system. A sponge is recognized as having sort of an evolved nervous system. And we learned earlier that, this endocannabinoid system, how does it get its name? How does it get its name? Experiments that people do with cannabis on real tissue. So we should be thanking cannabis, we should be thanking the outlaws who stuck to their guns and did research. We should be thanking these people who really toughed it out, because science has grown enormously. Big, huge boom to humanity. I'm kind of proud that I stuck it out when times were looking bad. And it sounds fine now. People complain. Believe me, back then it was a different story. If you wanted to grow marijuana, you did it at risk of life and limb. Really, it's not like that today. And I've been involved in marijuana for a really long time. So we learned that we have two receptors, two classes of receptors, CB1 that operate on the central nervous system, CB2 that operate on the peripheral nervous system. Cannabidiol has affinity for both. It has a greater affinity for CB2 receptors in the peripheral nervous system. The peripheral nervous system includes the digestive system. It includes the immune system. The central nervous system is your brain and your spinal column. And we learned earlier that we find receptors on T cells, B cells, other immune cells. I heard earlier, we heard Tanya say every cell, maybe, I don't know, germ cells. So this is among the most important signaling systems that we have. When we undergo trauma, the zone that undergoes trauma quickly depletes its endocannabinoids. There's two ways to look at it. I don't know which is the better way. Either all the endogenous internal endocannabinoids get gobbled up, or, as I heard earlier, possibly more CB2 receptors emerge. It doesn't really matter. The bottom line is there's a depletion of endocannabinoids. With the addition of exocannabinoids, the system responds in very different ways depending on the combinations and levels of these exocannabinoids. So, what I've found, I'm really talking about my personal experience. What I found, well, what we know is many of the therapeutic properties that are associated with medical marijuana, specifically THC, we now know CBD. CBD is considered to be of greater therapeutic value than THC present. Now, this is a new way of thinking. CB1 receptors are responsible for CBD's neural properties, relaxation, relief from pain and anxiety, any kind of pain relief, any kind of anti-anxiety relief, and also any kind of insomnia relief, anti-tremor, anti-spasm. The CB2 is more responsible for the anti-inflammatory properties of the cannabinoids. CBD is active primarily on the anti-inflammation, anti-oxidizing mechanisms, encouraging tissue healing and homeostasis to maintain health. Once again, I'm talking about my personal experience. I'm not a researcher, but I have found that CBD is extremely effective in treating ailments that concern the immune system. For a moment, I'm going to talk about what I've personally seen. I've personally seen CBD effectively treat acne, arthritis, with osteo and rheumatoid, carpal tunnel syndrome, and other cubital tunnel syndrome, and any sort of nerve damage, because CBD is a neuroprotectant. This is important for people with dementia, Alzheimer's. I've seen it work on asthma. For me, it works on asthma. Previously, I used to take corticosteroids. Put a little CBD on my chest, everything's fine. Crohn's disease, which is digestive dysfunction. Cancer. I was dealing with a guy earlier today who was picking my brain and looking for help. Anaphylaxis due to venom. I have a retailer in America. She is a doctor of natural medicine. Her daughter got bit by a snake. She rushed to the scene with two things: my CBD product and silver. I don't know what silver does. I have no idea. But CBD was up there, and she was fine. At the end of the day, she was fine. So maybe it was the silver. I think silver. Bug bites, which are pretty terrible. Seizures, migraines, general chronic pain, local pain, bacterial and fungal infection. I'll tell you, my dog has had an ear infection. Took to the vet many times. Antibiotics never work. Never. An application of some CBD and a carrier molecule, it's gone. This is not my experience, but I've heard that MRSA, it's bacterial infection. No antibiotics when treated. It's immunoantibiotics. I've heard, I believe, the last thing they use now, you know what it is? It's CBD. Strange. Basically, and also I've seen it work on Dravet syndrome, childhood epilepsy. I've seen it work on big-time anxiety, dermatitis, eczema, rosacea, tennis elbow, burns, stomachache, allergies. My kids have allergies. Achoo, generic dust allergies. A little application of some CBD in the south form here, maybe a little over there. Wait a minute. Strange, but it's true. Up. Tell I'm not really technologically inclined, but I'll do the best I can. We'll get a presentation if you want it. About to see. I bore the computer. I mean, imagine what I'm doing to you guys. Myalgia, diabetes. Basically, CBD is a safe, natural alternative to corticosteroids for the peripheral nervous system. And it's also a safe, natural alternative to sedatives and benzodiazepines, psychotropic drugs with heavy side effects for the central nervous system, for people with more serious diseases. For example, insomnia, you can take 3 drops of my CBD drops, take an Ambien. We'll see how you feel in the morning after taking the Ambien. You know, good luck. Good luck the next day. CBD is readily absorbed in the tissue, liver, and the blood through the familiar non-invasive routes: oral, sublingual, dermal, the lungs, even rectal with suppositories. In fact, that's the most efficient route. My experience is that it works best when the best carrier oils are there. For example, if you just were to put a little dab of CBD under the tongue, it's disgusting, tastes horrible, and it's going to take a long time to get in there, and I don't think the efficiency is going to be very, very high, because it's not readily absorbed in the bloodstream in that way. In this case, I use coconut oil as a carrier oil, and you get a much faster action. And it's a much better taste too. CBD can be consumed orally, and then you're going to get the post-liver route. The liver is going to alter the molecule. Everybody's a bit different. For many of us, post-liver route can be more potent. The sublingual route is my favorite for the central nervous system because first it's the pre-liver route, getting in the bloodstream and going up to the brain. And then you get the effect of the post-liver. So you get both routes. It's an excellent way to take it. I don't know how many of you in here have tried vaporizer, and I know a bunch of you have vaporizer. And you get a low efficiency, maybe 10% efficiency, but you get an immediate effect. And you get a nice feeling like that. The best way to take it, the most efficient way to take it is through the rectal suppository at about 50 to 60% efficiency. And that's a product that I'm going to be bringing around in the very near future. For the skin, I choose to use as carrier molecules certain essential oils, the combination. It helps draw the molecule very deeply into the tissue, much more deeply than you would think. The best way to use CBD for local pain relief is topical. My experience. Now, if you have anxiety, that's a different thing. The best thing to do is to ingest it, and you want to go for a peripheral central nervous system effect. CBD is remarkably well tolerated, even in extremely high doses. I've never heard of anybody complaining about problems, allergies, side effects. Never. It's important to administer the appropriate dose, and because CBD is expensive, you don't want to use more than you need to. So I'll give you an example. For an insect bite, maybe a half of a milligram, maybe a milligram might be plenty to solve the problem. If you have cancer or if you're very sick, you might need constant megadose. Megadose for me is between 100 and 200 milligrams a day. I was speaking to a gentleman earlier today. Unfortunately, he has some cancer in his family, and I recommended this person to take about 100 to 200, about 150 milligrams a day for 100 days. CBD, I should say, cancer cells exhibit basically CB2 receptors on their cell surfaces in more abundance than would be normal. And that's why CBD has the ability to stop proliferation of tumorous cells. It can act on that cell, bind to that cell, and prevent that tumor cell from reproducing. So you still need to go 60, 80 days to make sure that a cell's not going to live, a cancer cell's not going to live more than that. After 60 or 80 days, your cancer cells should die. You go a little longer for insurance. You go for the best. You pray to God, and you go for the best. When first administering CBD, start slowly with a small dose. Let your receptors get trained. And slowly, over the course of a few days, you can increase your dose to what you need to do. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the American perspective on laws and regulations. Let's see. Here we go. I'll get to this in a second, but I'm going to give you the American argument why CBD is completely legal in America, if it's derived from hemp. There are really two reasons. One, in America, what is allowed are what are called finished hemp products. Viable seeds are not. It's not legal to grow hemp in America under federal law. Some states are changing, we'll talk about federal law. So, finished hemp products come into the country. And this is going to sound a little strange, but finished hemp products are basically raw hemp material from Europe, grown in Northern Europe, and imported into America as a finished hemp product. It's raw material, but it's a finished hemp product. But whatever. Everything's strange about this business, as Boris kind of alluded to. Everything's strange, unclear. So once they're in America, the Americans process it. My favorite way is supercritical CO2 extraction. In America, as long as the levels are under 1%, legal. It's just the way the laws are. So keep your levels below 1%. The THC values in America must be below 1%. The CBD content can be as high as it wants to be. It's a strange situation, but often I'll take this raw CBD and make my products and ship them back to Europe. Now, how wasteful is that? It's very, very wasteful. It's not a unified approach. But that's the situation today. And I'm not, once again, Boris knows much more about this than I do, but I'm going to give you the American perspective. The American thought, corporate thought, scientific thought, is that the levels in Europe, THC levels in Europe must be below 0.2%. I don't know if that's, okay, that's what I thought. It's not exactly right, but this might not be exactly right, but that's what the Americans think, that's what the Americans stick to, and that's their thought for sending raw CBD to Europe. I came in here, I don't have any more, with raw CBD. It was 36%, 10 grams of 36% CBD, about 0.1% THC. I mean, nobody's going to give me a problem, but the American thought is that this is legal in Europe. But apparently it's not. Apparently everything I do is against the law. So it just dragged me away. Really, I'm like discouraged. You know. But it's a strange situation. However, CBD is completely unscheduled by American law. Now, this is a very important concept. It's unscheduled. It's not legal. And it's finished hemp products are legal as long as your THC levels are below 0.1%. Well, everything's okay. That's the situation, whether it's right or not, who knows, but that's the situation that exists today on the ground in America. Once again, a lot of the hemp products that come here have to go through this circuitous route, where they're in it, imported to California, processed, shipped away, manufactured, exported back to Europe. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's the way it's been done. That's the way I've been doing it for about 8 or 9 months. Now, the big boys, the big online retailers, Amazon, Etsy, and another that I'm not going to name for fear of retaliation, don't like CBD. Why? I really don't know. It's not my business. But I'm going to give you an example of. I'm going to give you an example of some disinformation. Amazon policy towards CBD, products that simulate the effect of any illegal drug, such as marijuana, hallucinogens, opium-based drugs, forbidden. Example, rich hemp oil containing concentrated CBD. Doesn't doesn't simulate the effect of any drug. So what they're doing is they're propagating a lie, right? They're basically saying, hey, CBD simulates the effect of a drug. I'm sitting here to tell you it doesn't. It's a completely different thing. I challenge any one of you to get high on CBD. Impossible. It's never been done, it can't be done. Because it doesn't work that way. A little THC in there, that's a different animal. So, this is what we're up against. This is really what we're up against. Now, I'm going to talk about a bright spot. So far, the Justice Department has taken a completely hands-off approach. And the DEA has taken a completely hands-off approach to CBD. So we heard earlier that the DEA, let me continue on. The FDA, let's talk about the FDA for a second, because we heard a little bit earlier. I'm going to give you my take. The FDA has, in fact, been tolerant of the CBD industry. Earlier this year, they issued a bunch of warnings to CBD companies for making medical claims under threat of fine. Not under threat of closure, under threat of fine. I don't make medical claims because I know this is coming, so I didn't get that they did. But to be clear, the FDA never closed down any CBD business in America to date, to my knowledge. Just to be clear, just clarify that a little bit. Now, we talked about the European situation too, right? I really don't have a whole lot more to say, except that I found that CBD is more therapeutic if you include it in a broad spectrum of the cannabis plant. I prefer a 25% extract, about a 0.9% level of THC, full of the entire range of therapies, flavonoids, phytochemicals, terpenoids, waxes. I don't make products out of CBD, pure CBD. That's not going to help anybody. I'm here to say it's not going to help anybody. It's good business, but it's not good therapy. This is just my approach. Once again, it's my opinion. It's my opinion. The pure 99.9 CBD, you hear about crystal and this and that. It's not for me. It's not for me. I guess I'll have about one more slide if I can find it. Let's see. We got it in this slide. If anybody wants to take a photo of it, be my guest. just going to go to a slide that talks about CBD compared to corticosteroids, and CBD compared to stronger psychotropic anti-anxiety drugs. I'm going to stand here and I'm going to challenge the corticosteroid industry to take me on. I'd like to do a double-blind test with them. I'll use my product, so they can use theirs, and we'll see who the consumer favors. It's a challenge to anybody in the corticosteroid industry, if there's anybody out there. So, look at the corticosteroid side effects. Terrible. You know, increased appetite, acne, mood swings. I was on corticosteroids a few years ago. I was ready to kill somebody. Thin skin, muscle weakness, delayed healing, because corticosteroids suppress. Ultimately, they work by suppressing the immune system. The immune system gets a little overheated, as we heard earlier. Fatty deposit in the face, Cushing syndrome, weakness, osteoporosis, diabetes, high blood pressure, glaucoma, ulcers, mental problems, suicidal thoughts. On the other hand, CBD products, if they're made well, if they're made with care, if they include a wide range of the plant, you'll have probably a better, in my experience, probably a better healing effect with zero side effects. I would say one thing about a side effect. CBD tends to make people sleepy. It's not a side effect if that's your intent, but if that's not your intent, it's a side effect. With my early salves, I put a tiny dab on my young son's ankle. I'm talking about a tiny dab. He fell asleep in about 10 minutes and he was out for hours. He woke up, he was fine. So, strange. Now, for the more your mental issues, traditional doctors, who have a lot more money than I do, trust me, they might suggest benzodiazepine or an Ambien or something that they get a kickback from. I'm being very, 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 very light. I'm boxing with one arm type of young man. I'm only listing little tiny side effects of benzodiazepines here. Sedate the muscles, drowsiness, dizziness. Well, nobody wants to be drowsy or dizzy. Decreased alertness, decreased concentration. I heard earlier that somebody said CBD helps with concentration. Risk for fall for elderly, terrible. Addiction. Dangerous and fatal drug interactions, especially with alcohol. Once again, I challenge the benzodiazepine people to a double-blind test. If there are any benzodiazepine people out there. My product against yours, and we'll see who the consumer prefers. Now, I'm one little guy. I'm not a company. I'm a company of one. I don't have anybody's help. I don't have any investors. This is all me. I do this for fun. I do this, like I said, I do this as a challenge. I've helped, I'm going to say, at least 1,000 people. That might be a little bit high. Hundreds of people. Maybe 1,000. I'm going to probably say 1,000. I've helped at least 1,000 people since I started in November of last year. And I've never had anybody come back and complain. Never. In fact, the vast majority of my customers come back for more. I have incredible repeat customers. I'm not trying to toot my horn or sell my products. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to sell you guys on the idea of the therapeutic value of CBD. I guess I'll go back to my contact info and then I will open up for questions.
Some questions in audience?
Yeah, one question. A lot of people go after the CBD oil after they already tried chemo or some, like say, medical treatment. What about the quantities then? Because I know that the people before going to chemo, the quantities are low for healing.
Chemotherapy destroys all cells, not just cancer cells. It destroys neural cells, it destroys all tissue cells, and the bottom line is it weakens the immune system. It's unfortunate, but the trend is this. The trend is that people seek traditional medical therapy. After the chemotherapy fails, they look for the alternative, but I'll put this out there. Their body is probably more damaged from the chemotherapy than from the tumor or from the problem. I really believe that. I really believe that. I've seen it. So I would say it would be wiser for someone to choose before the chemotherapy which way they want to go. Traditional medical route or a little bit of a different route. And not many people are brave enough to take the different route, in fact. When people are sick, they do what the doctors tell them. And the bottom line is you're going to need a lot more CBD because you have a lot more immune dysfunction and cellular damage to overcome. But it's possible. And I would highly recommend it. You will? Any other?
Amazing speech.
Okay.
Amazing United States experience.
Okay.
Mr. DaCrema, I write how is
DaCrema.
just a little bit Italian, so thank you very much. I'm very, very, very proud with our audience that you are staying in the Welcome Home stage this year. I hope that you will be next year with us too, with your team maybe, and with your bigger audience from United States. This is a big potential for future CBD. We need anybody, especially if they people. Thank you very much and see us later.
I'm more than